sponsored by Dow Infinity.
Welcome to Thinking Tackle, and in this episode we have literally been transported back in time. This idyllic lake called Greenacres near Peterborough has only been fished 5 times since the carp were put in here. There's 120 fish here to almost 40 pounds, and I'm told as well they're absolute stunners. I've got my old mate Steve Broad with me as well, and most importantly a couple of competition winners from Angling Times that have actually won a competition to appear on the show. So we're going to talk baiting up, we're going to talk feature finding, we're going to talk rigs, absolutely everything they need to know to hone their angling. Well, it's taken a couple of hours to get it right, but it is bang on right now, mate, isn't it?
Spot on, yeah.
That was a joy to see you, to see that lead hit the bottom, and you see the look on. That's it. That's on the spot. That was absolutely brilliant. So, I think it's important to point out that we've taken a marker float out the way, haven't we? So,
yeah.
Because that's the easiest thing to catch around. If you've got a crosswind, trying to cast at the marker, the line goes round it, snare up, and you put everything in.
Yeah.
So that was really good. They're both bang on the money, those two. We've marked the line with a little bit of foil tape, which you can just like roll into a little cigar shape, so it doesn't catch. So once we slacken off, that tape will move up the rod a little bit, the line will slacken right down, but the most important thing, we've got the distance marked. So if you get a bite in the night, we can clip it up at that same range again and get you back exactly on the money.
Spot.
So that was bang on, mate. Really well done.
Chuffed.
I think you should get the other rod out.
With pleasure.
And how about that for a start to the session? Pleased, mate?
Ecstatic, mate. Fantastic.
That's wicked, isn't it? Perfectly clean fish. On the rod in the margins, wasn't it?
Yeah, one right in close.
Excellent. So we're going to stick with that rod in close. Obviously, we're going to put the two further out, as we've shown you already. And once we've got this fella back, we're going to have a look at bait. Well, unusually for me, I'm fishing 3 completely different spots. Basically because there are so many options in this swim, and also because there's no real big clear area to fish to. I've had a cast around with a marker float and I can't find anything that feels like gravel. It's just different kinds of weed absolutely everywhere. So I'm choosing to fish with a throwing stick this time and just spread boilies all over the far part of the swim. My marker float that's probably 2/3 of the way across is feeling down into some silkweed that's probably that much off the bottom. So I'm going to fish a fairly long hook link, spray boilies all over that area and get the fish picking them up in the weed. The long rod is right over the other side where I've seen fish scooting up and down that far margin when it was warm earlier on. Perfect area to have a bait. Again, very weedy out there, so I'm going to fish a pop-up on that rod, and then the third rod is going to go literally just down there under the tree in front of me. The fish have been coming up and down here on the surface. They're not pressured at all, so I'm going to choose that as my 3 spots to start off with, and then I'm going to move more rods to one area if one starts to produce more bites. So let's get some bait in. I've put about 2 kilos of boilies in already, and those fish are straight onto it. They've actually been bubbling up while I've been messing about getting some rigs done. I'm putting out 4 or 5 at a time over to that far margin, and then I'm just going to put another handful round the marker float, and then I'm going to get the rigs in because the fish have had a while of free food. So we're going to get the rods out and hopefully try and get a few bites.
Here we are, Nathan. Great swim. Big fallen tree to the right, lots of weed over the back, but we've seen fish short, so we don't want to spook them with a spod rod. What we're going to do is just get your rod here. We've got a light little lead on it. Just cast it out here short, mate, where the fish have been showing. Feel that lead down, just find out what's on the bottom out there. Ready? Remember, just trap that line as it goes down, feel the bottom as you go down. Right, just pull back and pull back. Oh, that doesn't feel too bad. We'll just clip that up now. Bang that straight in the clip because we'll find the distance. You got that little fiddly fellet? Little fingers and thumbs, mate.
That's it.
Right in there. That's perfect. Now spin it back in quickly, mate. Pick it up because you don't want it to pick up any extra weed as it comes into the margin.
Okay.
You swing that back in. Whoa. You look at that. Only little bits of weed, nothing to worry about. We'll get away with that. Now we're ready to go and clip this up with a spod rod.
Okay.
There you go, mate. Right, as you can see, what we've got is both these rods are clipped up now. How we did it was cast the fishing rod out first, pulled along, found a clear spot and put the line in the clip. Then we went up onto the flat bank behind us, we pushed a bank stick in, wrapped the rig round it, and then we put the spod in exactly the same place on the bank stick, walked slowly backwards, Nathan and I, side by side, until that hit its clip, which meant that we can put this in its clip there. So both of these are now exactly the same distance that we can cast. Now all we need to do is put a little bit of bait in. Here we are, look at this. First fish from a new lake, absolutely brilliant. And just look at him. What a fantastic creature. Dark, all those lovely oranges and reds, fantastic scale pattern. Nice big broad back and head. That's what carp fishing's about, catching these fellas.
Here you go. One for the book. 16.5. Taking over the spot mix that Danny helped me with. Beautiful take, beautiful fish. Dead chuffed. There's a 20-pound 4 off of the margin rod. Fantastic take. I'm sure the boys will agree with me. Absolutely roared off. Had me all over the swim, but dead chuffed. Brilliant fish.